Evening all, Louise here with another episode of Straighten Your Crown Tarot. Right, I think I've had a couple of days. Have I had a couple of days where I haven't done a reading? And then bugger me, sideways, it all kicks off. So, what's this reading about today, Louise? I hear you say. Well, this one is going to be about Rachel Reeves. And tomorrow's I'm going to do Ben Habib's new party and see and Rupert Lowe's. It's not a party, is it, Rupert Lowe's? But I'm going to take a look at them too and see what's their potential for the future. Right. Cards today are the Ethereal Visions, Illuminated Tarot deck by Matt Hughes, and this is a treat. These are the prediction. This is the prediction deck by Trisha James Oracles. These cards were bought by myself, purchased by myself with the membership money of the last 2 months. 2 months, I hear you say. That must be a lot of money. Yes, they were bloody expensive. Cost me over 70 quid to get them to England. So, well, they were 50 odd quid plus 20 quid postage, so 70 quid for these cards. So you're going to have to forgive me if I wear them out over the next few weeks and months because I'm going to be using them. Right, let me move that out so I know where my parameters are. I think they're about there. Right, so let's have a little look. Rachel Reeves. So why Rachel Reeves? Right, well, I was logged out of my computer at work at lunchtime, and I logged out purposely because I work flexi time. So I logged out purposely so I could look at Prime Minister's question time. And after last night's welfare bill fiasco and the total chaos in the House last night, in the House of Commons last night, he stood there. Kemi Badenoch asks Keir Starmer, will the Chancellor still be Chancellor at the end of this Parliament? And he refused to say yes. He basically said, the Labour Party have achieved this and they've achieved the other and they've achieved this and we're proud of the Labour Party. He basically threw her under the bus. And while he was saying that, 2 tears rolled down Rachel Reeves' cheeks. So she's shed 2 tears for 2-tier Keir this afternoon. And I don't know whether she's going. I've no idea whether he's going to double down and keep her. Apparently Downing Street have had to come out since then and say Rachel Reeves is not going to be leaving her position. But then there's a lot of whispers about Pat McFadden has had his beady eyes all over the Chancellor position for a very, very long time. And if he gets it, he's not going to be any better, let me tell you. So let's have a look. Let's get a predictions card. Ooh, there's no oracle book with these cards. They are just self-explanatory. Ooh, all over the place. Yeah, she was all over the place. Now, somebody suggested that she might have had an allergy. Right. I suffer from allergies, and yes, it did look very allergy-like. However, my eyes go like if I've been bawling them out as well. But having allergies that bad don't necessarily mean tears roll down your cheeks. And I was the thing that went through my head when I saw it. It was really, really obvious. Was why don't you wipe them away? If I'd got tears rolling down my cheeks, I would have to wipe them away because the sheer feeling of tears rolling down your cheeks, it's like for me it's uncomfortable. But she reminded me of a horse or some sort of animal that's used to having flies in their eyes. She looks buggered, she looks knackered. And do I feel sorry for her? I hear you ask. In a way, I do. Because we don't know what's been going off behind the scenes. I think she's been set up to fail. But mostly I don't. Because while she's been wielding the financial axe on us all, There's been farmers that have killed themselves. There have been people who can't see a doctor, get a dentist, people dying in hallways in hospitals. There are parents who can't feed the kids. There are businesses that are closing down left, right and centre. The people that pay most of this tax in this country are leaving this country in droves. So, no, I don't. And so on the one hand, I have some human empathy for it, but 90% of me is saying, well, cry me a river. We've got good outcome. Let's have another one. So for me, a good outcome would be that she would go, but a better outcome would be that the entire Labour Party would go, to be fair, at this point. Holding power. Right. Okay. So it's a good outcome. So Labour's going to hold power. Holding power. I'm going to keep those to one side. Where's my little doodahs? I've got two of these. I'll see if I can put them somewhere where the camera can see them. On there. Good outcome. Oh, hang about. Come on, stand up on your own. Good outcome. And holding power. So I'm going to bear those two in mind. What the heck am I doing? Bear those two in mind while I'm doing the tarot reading. Good outcome, holding power. Rachel Reeves. Suck it to us. So while I'm just shuffling, they've been shuffled already and all the usual stuff that you do before a tarot reading. But while I'm shuffling, so the prediction deck by Trisha James was bought with the membership money, and for people who might start to get on the high horse, go back a few videos when I first started the memberships about 2, maybe 3 months ago, when I said that the money raised from memberships would be put back into this channel. That's exactly what I've just done with these. Revenue from the ads goes to Bluebellwood Children's Hospice, as usual, and super chats and all that goes to Bluebellwood Children's Hospice only. So the only thing I take from this channel is the membership money, and every penny, I've actually spent a lot more than what I've earned in membership money, but every penny of that will be ploughed back into this channel to try and bring to you something different every now and again. And these sorts of things don't come cheap, so you might have to bear with the same cards for a while, and you've already knocked good outcome out of the way. What's knocked it? 2 of Cups. Oh, right. 2 of Cups. I'm going to put that there. 2 of Cups. Two of Cups. Right, there's been a deal done. Am I taking all 3? Right, let me just channel Reiki to these, see which one's going first. That one. King of Wands. That one. The Hanged Man in reverse. And the 7 of Wands. Right. These two together, I'm seeing that it is a takeover. There is a takeover, but this prediction card, this good outcome card, is along with these two. I don't know why I want to do this, but I want to separate them like that, so I will do. This good outcome thing, as far as Rachel Reeves is concerned, we know she's an inexperienced economist. We know she lied on her CV. We know that she's incapable of doing the job. We've known it for an entire year, and it feels like he made this decision to put her into that position not realising just how incapable she was. And all this time there's been some, it does feel like there's been some what shall I say, strategic action, like military planning to get her out. And it makes me wonder whether the civil servants who are supposed to be the ones to give her the information, Bank of England and all these types of people, makes me wonder whether they realised how dire she is, and they've sort of advised her to do certain things in order to tank the economy to get her out. I mean, that is a real conspiracy in itself. I'm not sure whether that's true, but as far as these two are concerned, there's definitely been some wheeling and dealing behind the scenes in order to get this outcome. I think she's going. I think she's going. I don't think he's going to sack her, because that would make him look weak. He already looks dead weak already. It was a week from day one, ante. But I don't think he's going to sack her. I think she's out of her depth so far now that she can't do it anymore. Something's just reminded me. I did hear something on the radio earlier while I was cooking for tea, that there's some suggestion that Rachel Reeves had some personal issue. Now, if you've got a personal issue, they actually do let everybody know in the Houses of Commons when they're in there that someone's got personal issues, and they lay off them. So clearly they haven't been briefed on that. And so I think that's a load of bullshit, to be fair. But we'll have to see. So then we've got the Hanged Man in reverse. This is not self-sacrifice. This is not sacrificing yourself. So now I've said there's some deal to be done in order to get her out. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe when I look at these two cards, I'm thinking, no, it's a deal to be done in order to keep her in, and for her it's a good outcome, and she holds power. Because we've got this Hanged Man in reverse. Hanged Man in the upright would be self-sacrifice. In the reverse, it's absolutely not putting yourself on the line for anybody. And then we've got the Seven of Wands, basically batting off the opposition, batting people down, battling through. So it's I don't know where she's going or she's not. I don't know if she's going or she's not. Because if I was just to look at those two cards and that one together, I would say she's going, but that's from my perspective, because I think it would be a good idea for her to go. However, I do think it would be a better idea if they all went, because just her going isn't going to change anything. We're still living in a shit show, whichever way you look at it. So, carry on, Louise. We've got, what's that? Can't read it. Oh, Four of Pentacles. Oh yeah, clinging on for dear life. She's clinging on. She's hanging on for dear life. There's this. She's got something on him. I think that's what this is. I think this is what this is. This is this backroom deals. I think she is hanging on to her position because there is some information. I think a lot of people have got something on Storm, I'll be honest. And then in the middle card, we have the Chariot, determined to move forward. She ain't going nowhere. Tell you now. She ain't going nowhere. Unless something drastic happens. Is that in there? I'm going to put that back because I can't remember whether it was upright or reversed, and it makes a massive difference either way. And if it's supposed to come out again, it will. That was the Four of Wands, in case you didn't catch it. We've got the Page of Wands. She's got some young allies. So what I would say with that is she's clinging on to power, and she's doing it through nefarious means. So she's doing it through questionable means, blackmail type of thing. I think that's what that's saying to me. That's what it's feeling to me. The look on her face, like, I know what you've been up to. You kick me out or tell me I've got to leave, and the lot's going to go. And I'm determined I'm going to carry on. And I've got my minions behind me. I don't know whether this page of wands is representing the younger backbenchers, the more, politically, more ideologically aligned to Rachel Reeves, because she is a Marxist. And then we've got the Four of Cups, disappointment. I don't know what's happening with these three. I don't. Right, I'm laying them out. That one. The World. That one. Six of Pentacles. And am I using that one? No. So, we've got this. I've got something on you. I'm going to carry on. I'm going to continue to move forward. She's going to be offered something. She's going to be offered something. But she doesn't want to take it. She wants what she's already got in front. If she takes this cup, that means all this lot's going to disappear. That's not the meaning of the Four of Cups, by the way. That is how I'm intuitively reading this Four of Cups right now. It feels like there's all sorts of sweetness coming her way, and she does not want to take it. She's hanging on for grim death. And then we've got the World. The world is your oyster. The end of a cycle, the beginning of a new cycle. Things are beginning to change. Things are going to change. It's going to be a slow process. And then the outcome is the Six of Pentacles. Now, the Six of Pentacles is an altruism card. It's balancing out welfare, if you like, being charitable, if you like. It feels like, I don't think this is Rachel Reeves, though. I'm wondering whether this feels like someone coming to the aid of the poor. I don't know. More than anything, more than charity, it feels like coming to the aid of the poor. So this is a confusing reading. She may well go. So my initial thought was she might stand in front of a lectern or whatever it is and say she's leaving. But behind the scenes is all this rowing because she's got it. She doesn't want to go. And there ain't no way she's going to go. She's got a really big following behind her. This has been secret dealings, this. She's offered, like, I'm saying that's redundancy. Rest of your life, you'll get a massive pension. Just F off now and leave us alone, sort of thing. And she's going, all right then. She's offered a big enough sweetener that she does go. But there's a lot of backing and backwards in and forwards in the meantime. Confused reading this one, Louise. So come on then. Is she going or ain't she? I'm not taking it. Oh, let's have another predictions then. All right. I think my guys are liking these prediction cards. So come on then, prediction cards. A good outcome. She's holding on to power. And then what's the potential outcome? What is the outcome, please, for Rachel Reeves in the next few days and weeks? Not more than 3 days or 3 weeks, please. Because I don't want to be hanging on doing this again in another few weeks. Give us the likelihood of Rachel Reeves exiting the exchequer, please. Quite nice to shuffle these because they are slippery, which is actually quite nice. That one. What we got? We have cyclone damage. Cyclone damage. Let me think about this. Oof. I think she will go very, very reluctantly. And unless their sweetener is a good one, she could be the cat among the pigeons. She could be the one that brings the entire government down. If she's the first one to go, she might be the first one of a house of cards to come tumbling down. So watch out over the next few days and weeks and see what happens. If she's still here by the autumn statement, doubt whether she's going to be staying beyond that. Because as soon as that Prime Minister's questions was over, the value of the pound dropped significantly. We're in the shit. Economically, we are in the shit. We have been for a long, long time. So when she's talked about the 22 billion black hole, oh no, 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 my friends. It was always much, much bigger than 22 billion pounds because the both parties have been playing silly buggers for decades. And I think this is the beginning. It's all going to start falling down. I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing them all like dropping like flies. There's change coming. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. See you later. Ta-ra! Evening all, Louise here with another episode of Straight in Your Crown Tarot. Right, let's have a look. Where are we going with this one? Right, well, this time we're looking at Ben Habib's new party. I want to call it Aspire. I might have got that wrong. And I think that's down to the fact that even though I've joined it, and I've joined Rupert Lowe's Restore Britain or whatever it's called, even though I've joined it, I find the name a little bit sticky. I think he's going to have to change it again. It's got to be a bit less sticky than that. However, in my meditation today, I was hearing reform, restore, aspire. Reform, restore, aspire. And I'm taking from that maybe we need to give, well, I think reform is going to form the next government, no matter what, because they really are the only option for the vast majority of us right now. But I think Restore will hold their feet to the fire because that's a think tank and a means to press those in government to basically remind them of what it is that the people want. It's a fantastic organisation, a fantastic idea. I think Reform will get in. I think Restore will hold their feet to the fire and it'll be the only entity that does. And I think that will pave the way for an upcoming Aspire party, if that's what it's called, Ben Habib's party, so that Reform have a credible opposition, because right now they don't even have a credible opposition. The Tories are in the gurgler. Labour are fast, well, they're already in the gurgler, but I think, to say they're only a year in, they've done a terrific job of making sure they never ever step into power again. So there's no credible opposition for Reform. There needs to be opposition in government so that there is always someone holding the people in government to account. And I think this is where Ben Habib's party kicks in, although I have joined it. Because I think I've read all the stuff, and I think he deserves a chance. I listen to a lot of what he says. He's a very intelligent, very clever man. So is Rupert Lowe. And I think this party deserves a chance. Anyway, that's my opinion. I haven't joined Reform. However, if there was a local election next year, I know for a fact that Ben Habib's party won't be ready to be standing in Sheffield. It won't get very far at all because no one has heard of it yet. I would be voting for Reform. So I'm putting my political thoughts out there to you all. You can agree and you can disagree. It doesn't really matter. It only matters if someone takes the ball home over it and can't have an adult conversation. So here we go. So what cards have you got today, Louise? Well, I have the super expensive Trisha James Oracle by the Predictions deck by Trisha James, all the way from the land of Oz. And I have the Forest of Enchantment Tarot by Linnea Weatherstone. I always get that mixed up. Right then, what are we doing first? Pray tell. We're doing a predictions to begin with. And we may do a predictions at the end, depending on how this reading feels. Because, you know, you never know. You never know in this game what's coming next. Interestingly enough, some of these cards wouldn't even make any sense if they came out. They just make no sense at all if they came out. So we'll have a little look. We'll just start us off with one, see what comes out, and then if it's makes no sense at the beginning, it may make sense halfway through. And if it doesn't make sense halfway through, it may make sense at the end. And if it don't make sense at the end, then hey ho, worth a punt. Let's have a look at a prediction by Trisha James while thinking about Ben Habib's new political party, please. Oh, slippy. We have Moon, no, unclear. That don't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me. See that? I'm going to put that to one side. Moon, no, unclear. So that doesn't surprise me at all. I think the party launched at the beginning of the week. I think I did see him doing something, saying something on. I can't remember, but it was on new media. He was saying quite quickly that within 24 hours he'd got 4,500 members, which is good going. It's really good going. They've raised, he's raised quite a lot because they have to raise hundreds of thousands of pounds to be able to register as a political party. I believe they're a third of the way to the target that they need to register as a political party. Like rather than a company, like Reform is still a business, it's still a company. There is nothing stopping them changing that now, and they should at some point. But Ben Habib doesn't want to go down that route where there are shareholders. He wants to be able to have it more democratic than that, which I like that. I do like that. There are things about Reform which aren't right, that haven't been dealt with properly. I mean, ousting councillors for saying anything positive about Tommy Robinson, I don't agree with that. Saying before free speech and then doing that. So there are hypocrisies within the Reform Party that I really don't like. They've done a few U-turns themselves. I don't like that either. And I just feel like Ben Habib's got this particular moral compass that he will never waver from, rightly or wrongly. But there's something respectable about a person who sticks to their points of view. We have the Ace of Wands in reverse. Ace of Wands in reverse. So it feels like stagnant energy. It's a bit stagnant. I wonder if it's got something to do with the name. Have I got these all upside down? No, I haven't. What's that one? The Eight of Cups in reverse. I'm going to put them the right way round, so for the video purposes. These two are in reverse. So feels stagnant. Not taking all them. Yeah, this feels like with this moon, no, unclear. I think it's because it's possibly too early to tell. It's not had it's not had the publicity yet. It's almost like it's a brand new party, but I think it's got something to do with media, not giving it airtime. To be fair, I think it's got something to do with media not giving it airtime, but yeah, it feels quite stagnant. Don't forget, this is an Ace of Wands in reverse. The root of will, the root of power. They're all coming out upside down, but they are not upside down in the deck. So we've got quite a few upside downs. And then we've got the Ten of Cups in reverse. Oh, I don't think I like them. So this is what I think this might be just, I think there's a lot to do with its name. I think it's got a lot to do with its name, the lack of publicity. Like, people haven't got the fire in the belly for it, because they've already settled on the party that they want to go with. Reform's been going a bit longer, quite a bit longer. People are aware of the feud between Nigel and Ben Habib, and they don't like it. And then we've got the Queen of Cups, the Ice Queen. So, right. So we've got this Ace of Wands in reverse, stagnant energy. It's not moving. There's no fire in it. It doesn't feel like it's there's a lack of excitement for it. But with this Eight of Cups, there's some determination in this to just keep going. So although it's just kicked off, no one knows where it's going to go. It might go tits up pretty quick. It really might go tits up pretty quick. But I got in there on the first day that it launched, because I wanted to be a member while it was still 10 quid. And I'd like to be a part of something new for a change in my life. So why not? Not hurting anybody, is it? So, but he's not walking away from this. He's sort of doggedly determined to keep at it. But then we've got this Ten of Wands in reverse. The Ten of Spells is the Ten of Wands. That's right. We've got this Ten of Wands in reverse. So I think it's going to feel like a very slow start for this new party. Feels like a very, very slow start. Feels like it's probably never really going to get off the ground. And then along comes the Ice Queen, the Queen of Swords. Something is said, I think. There's some intellectual challenge to this this party that comes along, because this is putting down the worries and the heavy burdens. So he's no longer carrying this heavy burden. But I think it's because there's something he says. So it's quite stagnant. Then he sort of just carries on regardless. And then all of a sudden there's something that is said about Ben Habib and the party, or something he says, which cuts through the crap. So it's going to be slow to begin with. But there's an event or something, or an argument, or some intellectual discussion, or something, some sort of debate is going to occur, and he's going to come out channeling the Ice Queen, the Ace of Swords, and he's going to tackle whatever that is with a very sharp tongue, and I think it's going to be impressive. And then we've got the 9 of Cups. So I have to think about these cards, because they're not called Cups, Swords, Wands, and Pentacles. They're called Visions, Weavers, Spells, and Challenges. So the 9 of Visions is the 9 of Cups. Then we have the 3 of Cups. Yeah, I think he's getting a helping hand. I think he's getting a helping hand. And then we've got the Knight of Wands. Let's have a look. So we've got this Ace of Wands, the 8 of Cups in reverse, with the 9 of Cups in the upright. So this is a slow start, stagnant. He's not going to walk away from that. And then this is like throwing a penny in the wishing well. He says something here, which then sparks a wish fulfillment of some description. I know he wishes to bring about a party that's for the people, that the people will vote on issues rather than the MPs decide what they want, and then it goes through to Whitehall, and then Whitehall do the bloody opposite. So I know that's his vision for the future. His vision for this party is to give the people more of a say of how they're going to develop policy, and he's going to part of the party is what he's calling a college, which is a makeup of 100 people who are there to sort of brainstorm and bring about a policy that would best be acceptable and satisfactory for all people rather than just a few people. So I think there's like something sparks something, and then all of a sudden it starts moving, and he finds himself with a few very like-minded people. There's a celebration here, and then there's this Knight of Wands. This is like this move to action. All of a sudden, this inaction, this stagnant energy starts to be brought to life. This is movement into action. Knights are about action. Wands are about the root of the suit, like the very root of the suit. Knights are about springing into action. There's a stagnant energy. Doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere. There's some definite sharp tongue moment, which sparks, definitely sparks is wish fulfillment. All of a sudden the money starts coming in, the offers start coming in, there's a celebration to be made, and then all of a sudden he's off to the races. And then we have the Huntsman, which is What's 21? Is the world. And we have the 10 of Boons, which is the 10 of Pentacles. So, yeah, so then it's right. Now we're making sense. So this first row is where we are right now. It's a stagnant energy. Something is coming, though. There is going to be an event or a discussion or a debate that's going to spark Ben Habib to say something, which is then going to, in turn, bring in the backers, bringing in the big boys. I think he's already got Elon Musk has already promised to back him, but I think there's more than just him. Is this wish to present this new party and a new way of doing politics by including the people who do the voting in the first place is starting to take shape, and it starts to move, bringing about the beginning of a brand new cycle. I just need to look at this card in a different thing. 11. It's justice, not the world. Justice. Fair, balanced, even-handed. Whether you like it or not, whether you like what he's saying or not, this is a fair, just, even-handed, balanced point of view, a balanced philosophy about how politics should be done in a democracy. And then we've got this celebration of the ability to bring this much more democratic party to the people. And then you've got this celebration with this ignition of action and this 10 of Pentacles. This is you've got a 10. It's an ending, it's a job complete, but it's also he's going to have what he needs to start to really kick this party off and to make it a very credible and popular party. He's not there now, but he is getting there. He's going to be given everything he needs to do it. The problem is, I still think the name is a problem. And then we have the Emperor. Oh no, it's not. It's not. It's the Empress, but it was in reverse. So that's confusing. He's going to be given everything, every opportunity. There's a lot of activity going on, but then we've got this Empress in reverse. What does that mean, please? The Empress is about abundance, about growing things, about fertility. There's some block on there somewhere. What's that to do with? The Knight. So that's the Queen. There's the Knight of. All right. There's a blockage here because it feels like this outcome. It can't give us an outcome. It can't tell us anything yet. Because there's still a ways to go. There's a bit more action to be had. There needs to be. So this on the one hand, we've got the Empress saying a potential outcome is that this party is just not going to grow. And then on the other hand, you've got the will to grow it. But it's like I said the other week when we were talking about that film, The Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. However, if you build it and they don't come, for whatever reason, maybe this party is for much further down the line. I think it is, because with my meditation, it was basically saying first you need reform. then you need to restore British justice, you need to restore laws that we need, you need to restore the country. And then that's when it will open the door for Ben Habib's party to then come in and provide a credible opposition to reform, because reform, just like any other party, would be at risk of running away with themselves and becoming an autocratic state rather than a democratic one. So I think that's what that's trying to say. Right now, he's going to have all the opportunity in the world. He will have a lot to celebrate. There's a lot of fire in his belly. It's going to take him some time, though, before he's going to have to build it properly. And then he might have to wait a long time for the people to come. So that's where we are with that. So let's just have one last one. Ben Habib's Aspire Party. I think it's Aspire. I mean, I bloody joined it and I don't know what it's called. I do, but I'm tired now, so my brain won't reach for alternative words beginning with A that might have something to do with political party. We've got earthquake, shake up. Yeah. Earthquake, shake up. Yeah. I think that Ben Habib's new party and Rupert Lowe's Restore Britain has got a huge, huge potential to shake up the necrotic parliamentary system that we have right now. So there you have it. So it's going to be stagnant. It's going to be slow going. There's not going to be tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of members. And they might be, look at the Green Party. They've hardly got anybody, have they? Do you know what I mean? But they're still going, and they're still trying, and they're still trying to get out there. I think Ben Habib's party might be one of those, and it might be one of those parties for some time, because it's actually not their time yet. But I think it may well be their time at some point in the future. It's not going to be before 2029, though. But I'm happy to be a member of it and watch it grow and see how it develops, and including Rupert Lowe's Restore think tank. I'd like to be a part of that, because it's all right me shooting my mouth off, but if I'm not going to get involved, then what's the point in that? Now that's an opportunity for me to get involved. So there we have it. Ben Habib's Aspire Party. If it's the Aspire Party. I might have got it wrong all along, but I'm sure there'll be hundreds of comments telling me I'm off my tits. Right, I am going, because I don't know if you can tell by my voice, I'm actually very tired. So I won't be in the live chat tonight. I'm just too tired to stay awake. So I shall see you on the flip side. See you later, everybody. Ta-ra! Evening all, it's Louise here with another episode of Straight in Your Crown Tarot. Right, we are just over 200 subscribers away from hitting that 4,000 target. So get subscribing if you're not already subscribed. About 50% of the people who watch my videos regularly are not subscribed. And there's a little sweetener for you here. I made this little pouch here quite some time ago in the anticipation of reaching 4,000 subscribers. And inside this little pouch, yes, it's not the best sewing in the world, is my old deck. The Rider-Waite Tarot deck. Yes, it's grubby around the edges, and some of the backs have got bits of tea stains on them. They are clean. They've been cleansed. They don't have any bad energies in them. I've been working with them for over 15 years. They've been a bloody good deck. But now I've bought myself a new deck and find myself not being able to use it for YouTube videos, because YouTube don't like the drawings of naked ladies and naked men, particularly in the Lovers card, the Devil card, and the Star card particularly. So if you want to get involved, be subscribed, because if you're not subscribed, I'm not entering you. You need to be subscribed, and you need to put in the comments interested, and I will enter you in the draw. And as soon as we hit 4,000 subscribers, I will draw that draw. There is an extra bonus to that. There is a surprise prize that's going along with this deck, and it's to help. All I'm going to say is it's to help anybody who doesn't read, who wants to learn how to read, help them learn to read. Tarot, right. If you want to subscribe, there is a little crown icon in the bottom right-hand corner. If you wish to become a member, memberships are 99 pence a month. I can't get them any cheaper than that. I would have gone cheaper than that if I could have done. And you can be a member of my channel by just going into my bio and scroll right to the bottom, and there's a link there for you to click onto. Right. All proceeds from my readings, except memberships, goes to a charity where I live in Sheffield, South Yorkshire. It's a children's hospice called Blue Bellwood Children's Hospice. You can look that up on Google. There is no fraud involved here. Every single penny goes to the children's hospice. And I do update every single month when that money is sent, and I do put it in my post when I've sent the money, the acknowledgement from Blue Bellwood. Although I have been donating since December, January time, they've now stopped sending me acknowledgement letters. They just send me emails now. I think that's to do with the fact that they know what I do for a living, and they don't particularly need to be seen to be associated with this channel because of the content of the channel. Don't forget, they are funded, and that funding does well depend on sticking to particular, a particular narrative in order to retain that funding. I don't blame them, but that's, I'm not upset by it at all. I understand these kids need the money. The parents and the families need that facility to stay open. And this isn't about me, it's about them. Right, this reading. Today is the 4th of July, is it not? Oh, before I start, decks that I'm using. The Oracle deck is the Predictions deck by Trisha James. Tarot deck is the Tarot of Mystical Moments by Katrin Veltstein. Now, today is the day, the first anniversary of Labour taking power in the UK. I wish we were in America and we could do the Happy 4th of July reading for America. And for those who do view my channel from America, a very happy 4th of July to you all. And I hope you have some fantastic celebrations and some lovely memories that come from that. However, here in the UK, our 4th of July, it feels like will ever be emblazoned on our memories as that dreaded day that the fraudulent government, I'm saying the fraudulent because they've told us a load of lies, stepped into power and have systematically dismantled everything that we hold dear. So I'm not going to say, well, I am. Happy birthday, Labour Party. Now, FRO. For God's sake, and leave us all alone. So I'm just going to do a happy birthday, Labour Party. It's a very begrudging happy birthday. Happy birthday, Labour Party. 1 year in. And have a look at where we might be heading in the next 365 days. So let's have a couple of predictions cards out straight away. We have, let's just cut and shuffle. Let's have a look. Labour Party. We've got two the wrong way already. What are they? We've got classified knowledge I'm submerged underwater. Okay. This is how we're feeling right now, isn't it? That we're like wading through treacle, submerged underwater. Our voices aren't being heard because we're being buried under this metric ton of weight that's been that we've been burdened with economically, the crime rates, what's the next thing to come and all that. We don't know what's next. I will say this though, I think we need to start just trusting and believing that eventually what's right in the world will come right. So I'm going to put those two there like that. I think you can still see them. I cannot see what I'm doing in the monitor because it's actually quite more difficult than you think to film on a mobile phone at this angle and know what's happening. Submarine underwater, and I read that as submerged. So yeah, definitely we have been captured to the point where we now daren't speak. This is what this feels like. It's a very sorry looking person. And then we've got classified knowledge, and I'd like to know if the classified knowledge that's been there's been rumours about, which classified knowledge shall I talk about? Would it be Lord Ali? Would it be the London arsonists? The grinder guys who attacked Starmer's ex-properties? Or maybe the dodgy dealings of net zero? Maybe the incarcerations for saying hurty words? Maybe it's the welfare bill that's now not going to be a welfare bill because they've realised it's going to cost more money than they would even save to put it through. So now I've heard they're actually going to rename it because, that's going to make it better, isn't it? Give it a different name, it'll be fine. So let's see where we are with that. We've got the assisted dying bill that's gone through. So state-sponsored suicide. We've got abortion bill gone through. So you can basically kill your child up to the last day of its, right up until the day before it was due to be born. We've got an NHS in crisis. We've got 40% more illegal immigrants coming through and being fed and watered while they continue to earn up to £700 a week and have free bed and board while the rest of us can't afford to put food on the table. We've had the Let's Kill Granny bill by doing the winter fuel allowance job. The list is endless, but I want to know if this classified knowledge is coming out because I feel it's time. It's time. It really is. Can you tell that? I could rant, and there's so many things I could talk about. There's so much incompetence I could talk about today, and I've not even hit on the half of it. And I'm sure the things that are dearest to you will be getting smashed out in them comments today. We've got the Page of Pentacles. I'm going to do this reading slightly different today. Page of Pentacles. Typical, isn't it? Look at the picture of this Page of Pentacles. She's a fairy. She's tending a garden, but she's a bit incompetent, a bit naive because the watering can's on the wrong way around. What are you going to do? You're going to do a backwards crab in order to water your plants. We've got the Two of Cups in reverse. This Two of Cups has come up the last three readings, different cards. Notice this. I think this is going to be the most significant card of the week. Two of Cups. And we have the Seven of Pentacles. So, we've got this Page of Pentacles. Pages and messengers. Pentacles are about the material world. It's an offer. There's a message of something, of opportunity, possibly a new job, Let's hope it is a new job for Kia. Let's hope it's a new job for Rachel Reeves. I think maybe we're looking at trying to continue to do the job, but this looks like it's now untenable. This new opportunity is a bit of a I don't know what's being said today because I haven't had the radio on. I don't know what's being said today, but I've got a sneaky feeling that after the Rachel Reeves tears debacle and are costing the economy £3 billion because she couldn't hold the tears back in Parliament, which in turn is going to mean that we're going to pay more tax to make up for her having a sob in Parliament. I think this is like, it feels like there's a half-arsed attempt to give the impression that there's new things on the horizon. There's new things coming, but it is a distraction. It's a massive, whatever sweetener is going to come out in the next few days, whether it's today or tomorrow, over the weekend, whatever sweetener Labour comes out with, it's going to be a bitter pill, and it is for distraction purposes, because we've got this two of cups. They can't make it work. They've got to the stage in just a year that they cannot make it work, and they've submerged themselves underwater. I'm still wondering, though, about this classified knowledge, because I really, really think that there's going to be some sort of coup, and it's going to involve information coming out. And then we've got the Seven of Pentacles. This, I call the Seven of Pentacles the Apprentice card. This is the person who's working really, really hard and learning skills in order to, hone skills and collect, start to earn a really good money. It's like when a young person first starts a job and they start from the bottom and they don't really know very much. They're a bit wet behind the ears. This is all the Labour Party as well, isn't it? They're a little bit wet behind the ears, and it takes them a while to learn the job, but they're getting there. They're learning how to do it. It's a bit of a toil. They might lose more than they keep on the tree and all that kind of thing. This is where they are. The Labour Party has literally shown themselves up to be exactly what they are. They're a naive, inexperienced party that are in many ways like teenagers. Teenagers, if any of you have had teenagers, you'll know that you can't tell them anything. They know absolutely everything, and no matter what you tell them and no matter what advice you give, they're going to go their own way anyway. They're going to go their own way anyway, and they're going to make more mistakes. But these apples that are falling off the tree, it's not to their detriment, it's to ours. This is where this one, I'm still very drawn to this one. There's something to do with this one. It's actually quite hot. This one's very hot. This one's like, I feel sad when I go to that one. With this one, I feel heat. Like, it's almost as if someone is going to get so angry. Some sort of injustice is going to be done to this person or group of people that they're going to come out fighting. But that's this year, they can't make it work. They really can't make it work. And I mean, I heard very late last night. I woke up in the middle of the night. Oh, excuse me. I couldn't get back to sleep. And I heard, I read it. I think it was on Twitter. On X, sorry. I read it that Zara Sultana, the very far left member of Parliament for Labour, has left the Labour government, and she's creating a new party with Jeremy Corbyn. Jeremy Corbyn. And then I've heard since then, or in the comments, it said something like Jeremy Corbyn's furious because he didn't agree to it. So even they can't even get their act together with that one. So the far left faction of the Labour Party is just as incompetent and unorganised as the one that's in power. I'm feeling this is something to do with civil service. I actually do feel there's an issue within the civil, so like some sort of mutiny in civil service. Is that going on? Yeah, it feels like there's some some mutiny going off in the shadows here, and there's some form of what's the word? It feels like some huge effort. You see this smoke billowing out of this book, this old book. It's like, if I let this information out, then the lot's gonna go. And this feels very, very touch and go. Very touch and go. So then we've got the 7 of Wands. We have the 2 of Swords. And we have the 4 of Swords. Right, someone's going to fall on the sword here. So we've got this 7 of Wands. So they're immature. They're trying to do deflection tactics. They can't make an agreement. They can't agree with one another. The party is split in two, is what I'm saying. There's some machinations going off with the civil servants. In the meantime, the rest of us are drowning under the weight of the tax and the ineptitude that we've had. I mean, how quickly a country can go because you've got an inadequate and inept government in power. It's astounding how rapidly it can go downhill. So we've got the 7 of Swords and the 2 of Cups. 7 of Wands, sorry, and the 2 of Cups. So this is a breakaway party, definitely. This is the people that are breaking away, I believe, are the people who did not support proscribing that pro-Palestine lot. You know, the ones that vandalised military airplanes and all that. There were 26 that voted not to proscribe this organisation. And they are the very sort of your independent LPs, MPs, the Gaza lot, Zara Sultana, Jeremy Corbyn, I think Diane Abbott, and a few others. I think out of that, 9 of them were actually Labour MPs. And there's some talk about maybe removing the whip. I don't think they're going to do that, though, because they'll be doing that every week, and before they know it, they'll have less MPs than they would. If they keep doing that, then they'll end up in a minority and they'd have to call a general election. They're already teetering on the verge anyway because Rachel Reeves cock-ups. Everybody's absolutely astounded that she's still in place. However, if the Chancellor goes, the Prime Minister has to go too, and let's look at it. Who do you think is going to run the country? The ginger growler? Do you really think the ginger growler is going to run the country? Ange? Do you really think she's got the intellect, the wherewithal to run a country? No, she hasn't. So there's this breakthrough, breakout. There's a faction, a break in the party, and there's a split. And because there's a split, lots of MPs who are teetering on the edge of maybe them leaving also. So I think maybe more MPs than you think might go to the Zara Sultana side, particularly the newer, younger MPs who are basically there on the radical Marxist ticket, because if they're going to lose they will lose a seat at some point. Some seats are very safe, though. I mean, I live in Sheffield, and half, like quarter of us could probably vote Reform, but Labour would still get in. That Abtisam Mohamed's our MP. You know, she's our MP. Why is that? Because 300 yards up the road is where all the university professors live. So she's in the university ward. So some of these seats are safe. So it just goes to show you, doesn't it? But there are people in two minds as to whether to break free also or stick with the original party. And then we've got the Four of Swords. This is the card of meditation. This is a card of sitting back and watching it happen. And I think that's what Starmer's resolved himself to do, is to sit back and watch it all fall apart. And I think that's because he just doesn't know what else to do. But he also has to make a decision. He has to make a decision about Rachel. Notice this facially, very similar. He has to make a decision about where he's going to go. And he's very good at chucking people under the bus. So he's got to chuck somebody under the bus for this abject failure. And I think he's going to be spending quite some time thinking about that with this Four of Swords. But it's definitely preying on his mind. I think he's really kicking himself for not sacking Rachel Reeves with that first budget. I really do. I think he's kicking himself. When the information about the forged CV came out, I think he's starting to kick himself. We've got the Moon. Put that there. The Moon. We've got the King of Swords. In this deck, you've got two kings. You've got a male and a female king. There's also two emperors in this deck. So, and then we've got the Wheel of Fortune. So with this Moon card, moons are about hiding things, about obscuring things. Moons are about things being obscured from view. It tells us to look behind what we can see, to look beneath the surface. So we need to be looking beneath the surface of what's going on here. We need to be more in tune with not what the news is spouting out on a 24-hour cycle, because it will be the same thing, and it will be led. It will be guided from the Home Office, from Parliament. We have to do our own research, and it does take a bit of time to dig. We have to do some digging here to unearth what other things are going on at the same time. So there's something else going on at the same time. I think it's connected to this classified knowledge. And then we've got the King of Swords. This is a strategist, leader of armies. This is someone who's quite military, a very astute thinker, very logical thinker. It's like, and this king's sword is a needle and thread. So like, it's almost like they're weaving a, I'm just seeing and hearing in my head, weaving a web of lies. And to weave a web of lies, you've got to be able to think. So it's like, I think this is nifty maneuvers, because something's going to come out and there's going to be some attempts to bury it, and nifty manoeuvres to explain it. But then out of that comes a Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is an ending. It's a 10. It's fate. It's the end of a cycle. It's the beginning of a new cycle. So the end of this 365 days, we have now marked the beginning of a new cycle. I feel like this is like tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. I'm hearing tick tock, tick tock. You know where the cog's going? I'm hearing. It's like time's up. Your time's nearly up. Come in number 2, your time's up. Remember that. So I think we are looking at a major split in the Labour Party. They've shown themselves up for being so naive. There is a decision to be made. I think Starmer's is going to avoid making the decision. He's already avoided making the decision of sacking Rachel Reeves. That's not off the table yet, though. Please don't think that just because it says on the news he's not going to sack Rachel Reeves, that he's not going to sack Rachel Reeves. He's thinking long and hard about it. In the meantime, there's some information that someone's working very hard in the background to keep secret because someone's angry and wants to release some info. But, we're weaving a web of lies, continuing to weave a web of lies, and at some point, come in number 2, your time's up. Come in number 2. She's his number 2, isn't she? Rachel Reeves. So I wonder if it's for her. Come in number 2, your time's up. So let's have another predictions deck then. Predictions card. So, is the Labour Party finished? Is it finished or what? How? Right, join forces. Join forces. I think it is. And I think this goes back to the beginning when I said there's a split in the party. There's a split in the party. Some other parties are joining forces. I'm wondering if it's the independents, the Greens, the far left that are leaving Labour. I wonder if they're joining forces to start another party. Already got the backers, already got the George Soroses and your Bill Gateses that'll back you up. So many people join forces. So many people. What's the next? One more. Planned outcome. Right. Notice this little civil servant looks very similar to that civil servant. Are we going to foil these plans then? So joining forces. This could be the split in the Labour Party and different factions joining forces. This could also be reform, advanced, restore, unite the kingdom, UKIP, Integrity Party, English Constitution Party, all joining forces. And with so many more of us than there is of them, there is a planned outcome though. Are we going to be foiled? We need to start joining forces. Heavy burdens. Oh, we know that. We're underwater with bloody submarine, aren't we? One more. Because I can't just keep doing shitloads of oracle cards. Because, you're probably going to tell me that there's going to be something up with airport. Distraction, illusion. Yeah. Don't be distracted by the news. Do not be distracted by the news. Do not believe everything you are told on the news. Be careful of some of the news that you're now watching, thinking you're watching an independent media. Even your talk TVs and your GB newsers, They have got people pulling strings. They still do the same round of media. They still do talk about the same things. There's other things going off. If I was to, well, in fact, I am a member of Ground News. No, I'm not sponsored, but Ground News, if you want to sponsor me, please do. Ground News. There are things going on that we don't know about. It's being purposely kept out of the news. Purposely kept out of the news. I'm feeling like economic collapse, war-y type stuff. Be prepared. Don't listen to the shit that's coming out from the news. Live your life the way you want it, because whatever they're doing shouldn't have to disturb us too much. It's going to carry on. It's all blinking my daddy's bigger than your daddy bullshit, and it's going to carry on. Parties will change around, some will split and rejoin forces elsewhere. Rachel Reeves probably is on her way out. Not yet though, but she will be on her way out. He is currently thinking about whether he should do that right now. My guess is he won't do that right now because he's just said he's keeping her. But then again, he U-turns on everything else and doesn't seem to bother him. But here we go. Let's have a room. Let's have a room. We have that one. You see it? An arrow going upwards. Don't know what it means. I don't know if it's an upwards or a downwards arrow, actually. Oh, it is. T-Wars. T-Wars. Leadership. Warrior. Balance. Self-sacrifice. Logical thought. Rationality. And victory. Let's have another one. This is what we need. We need bringing back down to... That one's hot. We'll have that one. That one looks like an M. Do you know what? I've tried ever so hard to memorise these. I spent quite a lot of time trying to do it, and at my age now, I just don't retain information. Some of them I do, but not all of them. Come on, where are you? Here we are. A was balance, stability, harmony, teamwork, trust, loyalty. This is what we need. These are what we should be focusing on. And that looks like an F for Freddy. Where are we? Where's that? F. It's not an F, I know it isn't. Onsus. Mind, voice within. Signals, inspiration, true vision, and self-knowledge. So maybe we should just be sticking together, like-minded individuals. Know who your tribe are and stick to that. And be very, very careful when you turn on the television that all the scaremongering bullshit doesn't change your energy. And if it starts to change your energy, you need to start changing what you're watching, what you're listening to, what information you're taking. They are going to play like they're like rats in a sack at the moment. They're going to play like winking petty school kids and bags at dawn. It's going to continue. The drama's going to continue. But there are a few planned coups on the horizon. One within the Labour Party, and I think there's a pincer movement one from the right coming. If the right can put their egos to one side and work together, they can be separate entities, but if they work together in a pincer-like movement, we'll be okay. And we are going to be okay. What you've got to think is, you've got a roof over your head, food in your belly, you can breathe in and out, you can think for yourself, you can speak, you can walk, you can talk, or you can take care of yourself and if you've got people who love you, there's nothing else really to worry about. Right, I'm off. I won't be in the live chat tonight because by the time it's uploaded, I've just had some new medication that actually whacks me out. So I think I'm just going to take a few days off from being in the live chat because it just takes it too late for me. So I shall see you on the flip side, and take care, everyone. See you later. Ta-ra! Evening, always here with another episode of Straighten Your Crown Tarot. It's actually early afternoon for me. Excuse me, I'm already incredibly tired. Anyway, it's early afternoon for me, so by the time you see this, I will try and get it uploaded and premiered for 8 o'clock. I won't be in the live chat again tonight. I think I just need to take some. I have a few early nights because I'm struggling to stay awake. Excuse me, really tired. Oh, just come out of meditation. I could have stayed there for hours. Right then, what's this one about? This one is about the Reform Party having just lost another member of Parliament. Now, James McMurdoch has withdrawn his own whip and he's now sitting as an independent MP in the House. I feel that maybe this was a sort of Damocles moment. Maybe he had this hanging over his head for some time. The rumours are that during lockdown, this might not even be true, but excuse me, I'm going to yawn again. Oh. During lockdown, James McMurdoch may or may not have applied for COVID relief for his two businesses, amounting to allegedly £70,000. The alleged allegations are that this is a story that's going to come out in the next few days, and the news about some sort of business impropriety and him claiming this money under false pretenses. Let me just remind you of Michelle Mone in the House of Lords, who gained millions of pounds in PPE contracts. Let me remind you of all the other countless MPs currently residing in this sitting in the Houses of Parliament that had their snouts in the trough in that same vein. Let's remind you about Tulip Sadiq, who's still receiving an MP's salary, although nowhere to be seen, and refusing to answer to charges in Bangladesh over corruption. So he's fallen on his sword, and if the allegations or, the alleged incidents are true, then he's fallen on his sword and he's done the right thing. However, he's still in the House of Parliament. He's still an acting MP. He's done a lot of great work. He works very closely with Rupert Lowe on the rape gangs inquiry. I think he's on a lot of independent boards. He's done a lot of great work. However, taking taxpayers' money, how many people can say that they don't take taxpayers' money that sit in that place and the place opposite, that aren't taking a taxpayers' money, possibly with nefarious and precarious how many people can say that people in the Houses of Commons and Lords are not taking any money that they possibly shouldn't be taking from the taxpayers? How many people who sit in the Houses of Commons and Lords don't own businesses that haven't shall we say, enjoyed the fruits of the pandemic era. However, this is far-reaching for reform, and now reform are back to 4 MPs. That would be Nigel Farage, Richard Tice, Lee Anderson and Sarah Pochin. And I just want to have a look and see if James McMurdoch is at some point, is he finished in politics? And is James McMurdoch finished in politics? And is this a bit of a curse for the Reform Party? It feels like it's a somewhat cursed. The Oracle deck is the Predictions Oracle by Trisha J. Excuse me. And the Tarot is the Tarot of Mystical Moments by Katrin Veltz Stein. Let's have a predictions. Let's have a predictions card. James McMurdoch and the Reform Party. The Sword of Damocles. I wonder how long that's been hanging over his head. And I wonder if it's something... See, Reform, it's a bit of an odd one, this, because Reform weed everybody out. You've only got to sneeze in the wrong direction and you can't be a member of Reform. You certainly can't be working for Reform in any official capacity. For daft things like speaking up for Tommy Robinson. I do think he's actually said something in favour of Tommy Robinson, or not in his favour necessarily, but not actually against him recently. I'm wondering whether he's been told to leave, and something's all of a sudden been found. So much for Christian forgiveness, eh, Nigel Farage? Because I'm sure that if he paid it back, I mean, it's still fraud. At the end of the day, he's still taking taxpayers' money. It's wrong on the one hand. It still feels change coming. Change is coming. It's making me wonder what's going off here. Join forces. Wow. Change is coming. Join forces. Right. When I was in meditation, I saw James McMurdoch and Rupert Lowe joining forces, but they're independent MPs, not affiliated to any party. Rupert Lowe doesn't want to join Ben Habib's Advance Party because he's started up the Restore think tank, focus group, or whatever it is you want to call it. But I think I actually am wondering whether this is a bit of a catalyst coming. I am actually wondering who's joining forces. Now, you see, you've got people joining forces everywhere. You've got Jeremy Corbyn, Zara Sultana, the hard left have just split or are splitting from the Labour Party. You've got rumours that a particular Labour MP has got enough signatures to overthrow Starmer. So there's a huge split in the Labour Party. So there's a split with the Labour Party. And then you've got Rupert Lowe, James McMurdoch being ousted from the party. James has jumped before he's pushed, by all accounts. And then we've got this change coming. This change in the Labour Party. This change within Reform. This change due to new parties being formed. It's quite big, this actually. It's actually quite big. So I'm going to put those there like that. And then we'll have some tarot cards and see what the tarot has to say. I'm not doing I'm not doing a long one today. I don't think I've got it in me. So, James McMurdoch, he's removed the whip from himself. He has left the Reform Party. I mean, in a way, in some ways, that could free him up to do other things. I do, morally speaking, though, should he actually be a member of Parliament, if he has claimed from the COVID fund fraudulently, and but then again, there are a lot of them sitting in that place and the other place that have received far more than £70,000 in bungs during that era, and they've done quite well out of it. So that would be a bit like the pot calling the kettle black, wouldn't it? If they start calling that out. So I don't really know. It feels, maybe it's just because it's early doors, but I'm feeling like torn with this one. I don't know whether this is part of a split even within Reform, to be fair, because it wouldn't surprise me if people who own businesses who are affiliated with Reform haven't done the same thing. I personally know of 3 separate people who own businesses that claimed money from this the furlough scheme for businesses that shouldn't have claimed it. So if I know of 3 people, and I don't know that many people, what we're saying here. So first of all, we've got the 3 of Swords. So this is a bit of a heartbreak. It's a heartbreak situation. He's upset. He's being found out, and he's basically fallen on his own sword. It does feel like self-sabotage because he's done that. But it also feels that in this middle card here with the 7 of Swords, this is the thief in the night. Yeah, he's upset. He's upset because he's taken something he shouldn't have. He's taken something he shouldn't have. And he's being found out. And then we've got the King of Cups. So he's obviously quite emotional. But he's also a father of 3 children. And I think in some ways, I think you might hear him say in the next few days, because I can hear a man talking in my voice, a man's voice talking in my ear, saying, what sort of man would I be if I didn't provide my children with an example, to hold my hand up when I've done something wrong. But there is this clear joining of forces with someone. There is a huge change coming, and I think it's not just Reform. I'm feeling like it's Parliament-wide. There's a lot going on with the Labour Party. Right now. There's a lot going off within the Conservative Party. The Lib Dems are they're just non-entities, aren't they? The Greens, there's a bit of a shake-up going off with them. And now Reform, with James McMurdoch being found out, or maybe he's left ahead of some story being printed in newspapers. I don't know. So there's clearly trying to set an example for his own children by coming clean and being honest about it now, 5 years on. But he's clearly upset about it, because he has taken something that didn't belong to him. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. We have the Ten of Swords. Right. So this is talking to me about, you know, he's upset. His previous character has not been it's not been morally correct. He's not been the best of characters, shall we say. And then we've got this Eight of Pentacles, which to me is like he's put the work in, he's put the effort in, he's transformed, he's a reformed character, is what I'm wanting to say about this one. There's a that was the image portrayed about him, because there was a lot of controversy about him becoming an MP in the first place, because he's actually been to prison for some sort of violent assault on a female. He went to prison, he served his time, he turned his life around. He was this transformed character, but then underneath the surface there's some self-sabotage going on here. This man might always self-sabotage his chances. You know, some people just have that kind of character, don't they, where when things start going right for them, deep down they feel like they're not worthy of their success, so they do something else to, I don't know, mess their lives up. But this is the image of a transformed character. But between this, I've done wrong, I need to set an example to my kids. It's actually causing him a lot of mental stress. But the Ten of Swords is also about betrayal. And if you look at this card, you've got all these people sticking needles in his head here. I know the person on the card is a female, but this is showing me the story around this. There's been a lot of people pressing Nigel Farage to get rid of James McMurdoch because of his past criminal record. Farage, to his credit, has always stuck up for him. Lots of people have stuck up for him because he's got this transformed character image. But I think it's like this, his past is always going to follow him. People are always going to needle him for it. They're always going to needle him for it. So is he going to step out of politics, or is he going to continue? Is he going to step out, or is he going to continue? Is he going to step out or continue, please? Oh, all right. Is he going to be forced out? That's what that feels like. That's what. Not taking two. Just one, please. Is he stepping out, or is he forced out? We have the Nine of Wands. I think he's going to put up his defences. I think he's going to try and close himself. I think he's going to close himself off. I think he's just going to keep his defences up, and I think he's going to continue to battle through the, you know, the thorniness of what is Parliament. That's his intention right now. Is he going to remain an MP though? Is he going to remain an MP? Is he stepping out of the limelight? We have the Three of Wands. He's made some plans. He has made some plans. I'm feeling like he's going to leave politics, and he's going to go into something to do with merchandise, possibly. I'm thinking he's going to work a work in something to do with shipping, and I don't know why. Could have something to do with shipping. And I think it might be very closely tied to America. So what about reform then? Are they going to pick up after his departure? Are reform going to pick up after his departure? We have the Queen of Cups. I actually do think that Reform are quite upset. I think the people involved with the Reform are actually quite upset about James McMurdoch. But it also feels like they're also grateful to him for sort of sacking himself. And this seahorses mate for life. I think Reform and James McMurdoch will be mates for life. Not necessarily in the same sphere, but they will be mates for life. So let's have one last one then. So we've got this change coming and something of joined forces. This joined forces, it could even be Reform not cutting him off exactly, but there are businessmen in Reform that have huge businesses that could then be sort of offering James a decent job that's going to pay him something. So we've got this change coming, join forces. What about, we've got trains or transport? Trains or transport? Tell me another one. Trains or transport? Who's the transport minister? Who's the transport minister? It's that big woman, isn't it? With blonde hair and offering a donation. Okay. So I actually think this offering a donation, I think this might be James McMurdoch actually paying back what he borrowed. This trains or transport might have something to do with the transport minister, but it doesn't seem to fit with this reading, and I can't seem to find a connection. But I'm saying overseas, maybe this job that he goes into might have something to do with transport. And I think he's going to pay the money back, but I think he's going to leave politics eventually. He's going to work for a big company, or his companies that he already has are going to grow quite well with a leg up from people in the background. Jobs for the boys and all that kind of thing from Reform people. Might have something to do with transport, but I do think he's going to pay the money back. But I do think that's him gone with politics. Interestingly enough, there's this with the splits and all the other political parties going off at the moment. This is just like, I keep saying it, and I've said it for a long time, about 3 years now, that the systems we have at the moment, the old systems we have at the moment, are failing, and they cannot stand. They cannot continue to stand. I think what we're seeing at the moment with the Labour Party, with Reform losing people and then, gaining others and then losing more people, it's like there's seems to be a lot of false starts, because the political system is going to change, and that's what that's all about. The political system is going to change. And those that will survive in politics are the ones that join forces. Maybe it's time to unite the right. Anyway, I'm off, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care. Ta-ra!